The Australian Automobile Association is calling on the government to honour an election commitment it made to require the states to release road safety data to save lives on our roads. Now, the head of the Automobile Association is Michael Bradley. He joins me in the studio. We've spoken to you about this before, but you're yet to get confirmation that the Transport Minister is going to honour that election promise. It looks like the government is heading in this direction. But just to recap for our viewers, what is it that you want to see in terms of the data?
Thanks, Kieran. Good to be here. We've got a road safety problem in Australia. We've got a road toll that's going the wrong direction. And to understand it, the data we need is collected by state governments. It's not released by them. It's not shared with anyone. We can't compare what's happening in different jurisdictions. We can't talk to you about the quality of their road network. We can't talk to you about the causes of the crashes that killed 1,286 people last year. We can't talk to you about which law enforcement regime or which road rules are working and which ones aren't. All of this is collected. None of this is shared.
None of the states release the data?
No. So I can't tell you why it is that the numbers are going up 40% in New South Wales, but down in Queensland. The simple ask of both sides of politics in Canberra is, we think it's great that you give state governments $10 billion a year to build roads, but you don't get much value for that. You should be asking them to put this road safety data into the public domain as contingent upon them receiving the $10 billion from you every year.
David Pocock, to his credit, the independent senator for the ACT, recently made this a prerequisite for his support for government legislation, a piece of government legislation in the Senate. It looked like, for all intents and purposes, the deal was done. We were going to get this data, but we haven't seen it yet.
Well, I commend David on doing that, and I saw him on your program say as much, but I'm not aware of what has come of that, and we've heard nothing from the government on that deal or on their ongoing commitment to their election promise of 2022. It's nearly 2 years since the Labor Party committed to linking their funding of state roads to the provision of state roads safety data, and we're as keen as anyone to see where that's going.
Well, let's hope that they honour it.
Well, the clock's ticking because by the end of June, we have a new 5-year national partnership agreement coming into force. That's the vehicle through which this should be done.
Okay, well, we'll see from the government and also David Pocock as to whether or not they've honoured that commitment to him and whether he's got any update on where it's heading either. Because we have, as you said, we haven't heard from the Transport Minister to this point. On another issue, the fuel efficiency standards or the new vehicle emission standards, as the government's calling it, you're supportive of this move to make our cars more efficient, are you?
Yeah, very much so. We've been asking for a piece of regulation like this for some time, years. The AAA position is Australia needs a fuel efficiency standard if we want to maintain access to a first world vehicle fleet. You basically have a choice as a country. Do you want the first world version of the cars being made or the third world version? The technologies relating to efficiency, emissions, safety, they all come bundled. We want to be on the list of countries that get sent the best cars. For that, you need a cap and trade scheme, which creates a financial incentive for car makers to send you their best cars.
And so how's the government handling it right now, given the automotive industry split? We've seen Tesla and others break off from the representative group that represents automotive manufacturers.
Yeah.
Where are things at right now on that?
Well, from a AAA perspective, we think there's a fair bit of work to do. From a AAA perspective, we're asking the government to put on the table the work it's done to explain why its preferred model is the right model. The AAA doesn't shy away from the fact that this scheme is designed to make some cars cheaper than they otherwise would have been, and conversely, it's designed to make some cars more expensive than they otherwise would have been. We want to see what that looks like. We think they should be open and honest about who the winners and losers are. Very keen to be helpful, but wanting to understand, wanting more information. I don't think we're the only ones.
Is the US backing away from its previous standards? Is that right?
You should watch this week. We understand that later this week, the EPA in the United States will announce what its post-2026 targets are. I think there's a lot of support for what the government's stated ambition is, which is to, link with what they're doing in America. That's a similar market, driving similar cars. But I think what the great criticism for a lot of people at the moment is what's on the table from the government doesn't look like what America does at the moment. But after Thursday, what America's doing in the next couple of years is up for grabs. So we're as keen as anyone to see what that looks like.
Michael Bradley from the Australian Automobile Association. Appreciate it. Talk to you soon.
Pleasure, mate.